Cool.
Yeah, wait, how did you guys get to know each other?
So we're actually cousins.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so
I'm sure, right, yeah.
we were kind of like family friends
Oh,
through childhood, and then about when was it, a year and a half ago, we started getting closer. We realized like we think quite similarly and we want
yeah,
quite
yeah,
similar
yeah.
things from life.
Yep,
And then
yep, 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 yep.
over the past like 6 months, we speak pretty regularly, so we're good mates now.
Well, I think the biggest thing that's created the strong bond in our friendship is like we actually want to achieve something of significance.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, seeing each other on that, like being with each other on that, is nice because I don't really have any other male friends that want that. Really, I don't think. I mean, everyone says like they want stuff, but like no one actually has a thing that they're working on currently. It's all just ideas. Like,
And Kieran, you're sort of like that in that you want to achieve stuff, but you struggle to find people that do as well.
Yeah, I'm 100% like that. Like, well, pretty much, like, I have a friend group of like 14 people. Out of those 14 people, I think about 7 of them have said they want to do something, and out of those 7 people, no one has done anything. For one circumstance or for work, one circumstance or another, or like they're too like caught up in their own minds about it, like it's too difficult for them to start and stuff, you know.
Yeah, well, it's hard to execute on stuff, and like thinking about it and talking about it feels like you're doing it. You know what I mean? So that's like why can you get so stuck just doing that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, was it hard to like navigate being the outcast?
I would say it got more and more difficult as years progressed. I think during lockdown was like such your own bubble, right? So you didn't even have to like I was so in my own world in lockdown that like it didn't really matter. Like even when I started pursuing like e-commerce and stuff, I didn't really have to like take an obscene amount of time out of my day to do it. But obviously, like when you try and scale up, you need to take more and more time out of your day. That affects how often you can meet people and stuff. And then when it came to that stuff, like how often I can meet people and like and also like when it became something that I wasn't just because at the beginning I was just doing it for like money, but then like eventually it starts to look at it as more than just money, like a almost like a craft type thing. Like you wanna have pride in your work, you know. So when it started becoming like that, I actually started becoming like more like passionate about it. And then it's like then I want to talk about it like outside of just working by myself. But then then I noticed that around especially around A levels, it was like started to get a bit like difficult to talk about it. It was always difficult to talk about it because obviously no one else was doing e-commerce. Like it's like speaking about football with someone who never played football before, who had no comprehensive understanding of the teams or the leagues or anything like that. So yeah, it was speaking about e-commerce with people who don't understand e-commerce is like speaking to like a blank canvas type thing.
Yeah, that's it. Like to them, what you're doing is just an idea. Like I have a similar thing of like, I don't like talking about the fact I have a YouTube channel, even though it's like one of the main pursuits in my life.
Yeah.
Like when you say to someone, I make YouTube videos, like if they've never made one themselves or they've never tried to like make one that's good.
Yeah.
They don't understand the amount of time and effort it takes.
Yeah.
They have this visualization that it's just me in front of a camera like waffling and then I upload it straight away. They don't understand that like there's hours that go into the idea and the title and thumbnail.
Yeah.
Trying to hold retention and then even then with that time, it's like the tiny little tweaks you have to make when things don't go well and learning from the lessons and working really hard and then a video flops and you're like, oh, why did that happen? And it's hard if you don't have someone, if you're doing a thing and you don't have someone who gets it, it's like like you say, talking to a brick wall, man.
Yeah, especially like YouTube is such a surface like I think like everyone consumes YouTube to a certain extent, right? And it's like it's such a people look at it as like they go on the platform, such like a surface level thing. But like from because I've thought about opening a YouTube channel myself before, and from what I understand, there's immense research. I mean, first of all, you have to almost have the thumbnail and the idea before you even have the video. Otherwise, like because that's what people see at first, and then so much research goes into like the thumbnail, looking at both competitors, but both like how can you improve upon it and titles, etc. And like it's fine to speak. I think you can speak about like, oh, I watched this YouTube channel with someone else, like someone who consumes YouTube. But then to speak to you cannot talk to like someone who consumes it about like the production of it, because I don't think not that they wouldn't understand the different moving parts, but it's just that they simply don't have an interest in the different moving parts, or they don't want to like think about it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard a lot of the time, because actually now when I watch YouTube, that the majority of the time I'm thinking about how they've constructed the video rather than just sitting back and watching it. And you can see that from like how my videos went from absolute dog shit at the beginning to slightly better now. You can just see that in the way that the way I consume content, the way that I want to talk about it.
Like the amount of hours that's gone into every video.
What if someone's done? I mean, what I can see, you can see when I watch a video and someone's done something, I'll go, that must have been horrific to film and horrific to edit. But
I see like some like huge documentaries, like half an hour documentaries with insane editing, like Johnny Harris's documentaries and stuff. Like I know that guy has a whole team behind him and stuff. Like I know the editing's like insane, crazy. The barriers to entry for those videos is like insane.
And that's why it's so difficult to go viral and get it so right. Like it's the hardest thing. Getting a YouTube video to do well is harder than my A levels put together, harder than my degree has been, harder than passing a driving test. It is. I think that's why I kind of started doing it, because like I kind of figured out how to do the school thing. It was like, I know how to revise, I know how to learn stuff, I know how to do well in the exam. Now I've got this extra thing, and this is 10 times harder, if not more. And if you said that to someone, if I said to my granddad that like, making a good YouTube video is harder than doing this exam, he'd be like, what are you on about? Like, you know what I mean? Because I just don't get it. But interesting.
Really. Like I really feel that when it comes to like trying to convince someone that one thing's harder than the other, and also like taking revision from school and applying those like skills to like whatever endeavor you decide to pursue, right? And in your case, it's YouTube. For me, it's e-commerce, right? It's like I really feel like it's like it's the same for e-commerce. If someone looks at a listing, like especially like on a platform like Etsy, they literally like look at it for a millisecond, don't even think about all the different moving parts that go into it. I'd say that the reason why I didn't get into YouTube was because I actually thought YouTube was much harder than e-commerce. Like from my opinion, there are so many more like little knobs to like tweak and stuff. And also, I feel like it's very I think with YouTube, it's like the feedback loop is like much faster. And although like when I wasn't particularly concerned when I was younger about like the feedback loop of e-commerce, because like the feedback loop happens over like such a long period of time. That it was I don't know, I just didn't think about it, and then it kind of made it quote unquote easier because you can see, like, I think I explained to Jacob when we met up, but like in being in e-commerce is like planting seeds, right? And you let them grow, right? And especially on a platform like Etsy, where like you rely on long-term growth, right? It's not like I would say Shopify drop shipping or like YouTube video. You release the video or you just drop the product, run ads, right? It's like instant feedback, right? But although in e-commerce there's like less things that you can tweak, it's more like if you make a mistake like early on and then you scale your shop with that mistake, that escape is like that mistake will cost you like much more in the long run. But in the moment, it doesn't feel as bad, like, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and also the performance of your stuff isn't so public.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As soon as you put a YouTube video out and it gets 50 views, everyone can see that it has 50 views. And when you see that, you think that's probably a shit video.
Yeah.
It's in everybody's face and you know so early. Whereas like I assume with what you do, no one sees your sales. Only you see your sales. So only you know how things are performing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, no one keeps, like, no customer really goes on my shop and is like, oh, well, because you can see the amount of orders my shop has, the amount of reviews, but no one goes on it and looks at that, oh, the sales only went up by, like, 1 today or some crap. Like, you know, they're not doing that or whatever, you know. But, yeah, for YouTube, yeah, if you get, like, a bad video, like 50 views or something, it's...
But to be honest, John, like, if I saw a video that had about 1,000 views, I probably would have watched it just because the amount of views, and that's it, mate. That's it. Yeah.
It's one of those where, like, all the advice that I've heard and listened to is that's what I've said to you, Jake, before. It's you do years working in the dark, and then one day, one video goes so right that you get so many eyeballs on it, and then they look back at your old stuff, and then you go from there. But I'm currently in my years working in the dark, you know.
It's also like the sheer amount of competition that you're competing with as well. Like, I think I saw something which was YouTuber is the most desirable career there is.
Among the
it's like surveys with what people want to do when they're older taken by kids and YouTubers.
Yeah, it's all influencers and shit. It's real, like that's not what I want. Like, I think the reason I do YouTube is because it's the lowest barrier to entry for like marketing. If you want to grow something, if you want to grow an audience or a brand, or have people who are going to buy a product if you make one, it's so easy.
No,
like,
true, yeah.
I don't want to be still making videos when I'm 30. Like, I want to make videos until I have an established brand that I can then write books and write articles and stuff and provide online products that then people want. But it's like, it's at the beginning stages where I figure out what my niche is and who my people are.
Is your face attached to, because I haven't seen your channel. If you can send it to me afterwards, I'd really like to see it. But
Yeah, sure.
Is your face attached to your brand directly or to your YouTube channel or not?
It is, yeah. So my YouTube channel is just my name, Joel Clifton. Like, it's it's been associated with me, and content has kind of evolved over the past year and a half. But I'm kind of sticking with something now. But I've been trying to make videos about other people at certain points to try and kind of fame jacking, it's called, where you get viewers from their audience to find you, and then they start liking you, and then go from there. So I'm kind of still, I reckon the first few years I'll be playing around with ideas and I'm just trying to get that one video that goes, and that's it. And I know the day that happens will be like the 3 years leading up to it were for that to happen.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's actually a really good idea, fame jacking.
Yeah. I mean, that's why the Chris Williamson video did better, because like, even though the retention on that video is shit, the retention on that video is shite, but yeah, it got 1.5k views because people see him and click on it. So if I can get a video like that and improve the retention by putting more effort into the intro and making people care more, then that's more likely to do better, you know?
I wanted to talk a bit about courses, because I know you're both in the stages of making a course or thinking about it. And Kieran, you said you've consumed like some courses before, right?
Yeah, I have. I think I consumed a course on affiliate marketing before, but also on like YouTube, there are like so many like free courses on print on demand, e-commerce. Like, I consumed most of those.
Right. And how do courses market themselves to be for people to want to take part in them, do you think?
Well, the way I see, there are like normally two ways of doing it. The first way I normally see is like the Instagram gurus, right? Flashy cars, you know, the Tate style, you know, like sort
get rich quick.
Yeah, course selling, right? That type of thing. And then the other one I see is normally like, and this is normally from smaller creators, people who seem more like scrappy, like people who are they've had all they have, right, is that normally their content doesn't really consist of much. All it really consists of is them just showing numbers and then saying, this is my shop, this is my shop, this is my shop. They're all linked to me. The reason that they're all successful is because they're linked to me. I have the fucking secret, just like it's just in here. What do I get out of this? I just get the ad revenue out of this, and that's it. They're like completely transparent. Not only are they on the ground, like doing like what the course is about, but on top of that, the transparency. That's how they pretty much sell me on the course. Like, if like, for me personally, what I value is if I know that they're doing what they say they're doing, I'm in. You know, I'm willing to listen. Yeah.
Because I've never bought a course. I don't think you have either, Joel.
No.
Right. So, to me, I've just seen so many of these like get rich quick ones like on my screen that I just think that all courses are kind of bullshit.
I think with something so broad like that, it probably is. I think the ones that do really well are ones where they address a specific problem that someone has. And then they say, if you buy this course, we will help you with that problem. Like there's one that if I had the money, I would buy it. Like there's this guy who helps YouTubers grow and stuff, and he has like this he called it Thumbnail University, where you get like a whole course on how to build thumbnails. But the most valuable thing is you go into a Discord group with other YouTubers and you rate each other's thumbnails and give each other feedback and stuff like that. And like if I had the money for that, I would 100% do it, because I like the guy. I've watched a lot of his stuff and it looks good, and he's solving a specific problem for me.
Yeah.
The specific problem is I want a video to do well.
Kieran, did you find much value in that marketing course you took?
The affiliate marketing one, yeah, the value was good, but obviously I ended up pivoting to e-commerce in the end, isn't it? But there was a course that, yeah, no, I didn't buy it, but like I clicked on the, he basically, it was like a funnel type deal, right? So like you look at the free course and then you can go deeper. You can buy into a Facebook group, right? Like trying to funnel you into like spending money, right? But I only call it a funnel because like affiliate marketing type thing, you know. But with him, he was like incredibly transparent, and I went on his website just to look at his course. And I wouldn't go on like anyone's website like to view any sort of course, but I went on his website to go view the course, and like it was, I think in 2 hours, it was like the most valuable 2 hours like I think I've had in like the last 5 years. Like
Really?
yeah, basically it was during the time I was in Mauritius for 6 weeks. And I remember basically we had stayed at a like 5-star hotel for like one day, right? Just for one night. And I was like, okay, well, let me just download some YouTube videos because like the Wi-Fi is too crap at my grandparents' house to do it. So and then I saw his video, and I saw something in the description, and he said I could go on his website and download the course. I was like, yeah, I'll just do that with the Wi-Fi, right? So I just downloaded the course, and then I opened it, and like this guy seemed pretty unassuming, but then he said, yeah, I've done 2.1 mil in profit on Etsy last 2 years. I've started up like, this is composed of like 5 different shops, and he wasn't on Instagram. The only way I found him was through an interview on YouTube, right? So he was really he was really like low ground. And on his Instagram, all he had was a few screenshots of his Etsy shop, and that's it. And yeah, obviously, and in the interview they referred to the course. And yeah, those 2 hours were the most valuable 2 hours of like the last 5 years. If I had found that when I was like 17, I think I could have like fast tracked my progress insanely. Because after Mauritius, like the graph on my shop, it literally looks like it's like this, and then you can I have like a notepad, it's like down there somewhere, but it's literally of like me taking notes of everything he said in that course. I literally, all I did was do what he said, and like 2 months later it just goes like that. So I mean, yeah, he didn't even kind of like said it. It's like I had he half sold it by going on someone's interview, like taking the interview for someone reputable within the community, but he was more successful than the guy who was interviewing him, and then yeah, he didn't have to sell me on anything. It was more of a thing that he just said the numbers, showed the screenshots, and I was in. Yeah.
So you said in Mauritius was like the most productive time in your life, right?
Yeah, by far.
And why was that? Just lack of distractions and
yeah, definitely. I think I saw a video once. It said willpower was for losers, right? And when I watched it, the general premise of it was that having like willpower, like the ability to like resist to do stuff, like resist, for example, like let's say like you need to get work done, but let's say you're a serial procrastinator, and you love watching YouTube or listening to music or anything like that, but you know it's going to distract you, it's going to stop you from getting your work done, right? Or like watching a series, etc., right? All that stuff. The general premise was that you just, instead of trying to resist it, you just lock it off entirely. And by lock it off, it's like just remove it. Don't try it and resist it. Just remove it, because all that energy that you put into resisting is then gonna tamper with your mind whilst you're trying to work, and it's like you lose mental energy attempting to resist. So in Mauritius, I think that was just that practice put into like the most extreme level, which was, you know, in a third world country, internet so bad I can't see videos. Like I only have my laptop, which obviously can't run any games. I play a lot. I used to play a lot of games. Laptop's so bad I can't run games. Can barely even call people. Right. So and I had zero distractions because everyone else in Mauritius was super busy. So I was just, it was me by myself in like a room with there was a chair at a table right in the middle of the room. I just sit there for like, and I have this like timer, right? At this timer, I always put like 90 minutes on this timer as the maximum go 90 minutes, and I would just press the timer, and I would just work for that hour and a half, and then go work out, and then again, and then go work out, and then again, yeah. I would just do that over and over again on repeat for like the whole like 3 weeks I was there.
Wow. So maybe, I mean, that's why deleting social media is such a good idea, because then you can't access it at all. And I mean, me and Joel both have gone years without social media, and I think that's definitely accelerated our rate of productivity. And it's also, there's a big step to do, but we wouldn't be we definitely wouldn't be the same people without social media. Do you agree, Joel?
Yeah, no, I came to my biggest realizations about who I was and what I wanted when I did a good year without any of it. And I still, like, I have Instagram on my phone, but I try and keep up as much as I can. YouTube's the hard one because I make content on there and I want to watch things to see what people are doing. But then you can like cope when you actually need to be doing something else and watch YouTube pretending it's productive. But I still stay away from Snapchat. That's the one, because that's the one where I really look. I'm like, where's the value here? Like Instagram, I can DM some people where I don't have their number or whatever. And friends send me memes. It's quite funny sometimes. And YouTube, I can actually learn stuff from. But stuff like Snapchat is just like, bro, I don't care about a picture of your ceiling. Like I really couldn't be asked. Like you're just taking away like 30 seconds of my day, like 100 times. That stuff adds up. Yeah, and I think that's a good point you've made actually about the most important thing if you actually want to do work is not having this aggressive willpower and ability to just sit down and do it. It's actually get rid of all the other options. Like I found a small thing is like in the afternoon, sometimes I struggle to transition from like going out for lunch and then coming back to my room and working because my mind's kind of a bit busy. I've eaten food, I'm a bit sluggish. And I found actually going out of my room to like a public place to do work is better because I'm not going to sit in a public place on my phone if I've got my laptop out. Like in my room, no one's watching me. No one cares if I scroll through Instagram Reels for half an hour because no one's there and no one sees it. If I'm in Costa or if I'm in the library where everyone else is working, I'm there to work and I do the work. So I think that's a great point you made there.
Yeah. Definitely, I really like that public place analogy. Like, yeah, you don't want to be some like NPC. Like
exactly. Like I see it with people. I used to see people in a sick one when you go in the study room and they're just like on their phone. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, do you know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy. So
yeah, of course, yeah.
So change the environment and have like a happy place.
Mm.
Yeah, but environment is huge. Like, I think that I have a friend. He really wants to start. He's an art student. He really wants to start something to do with art, right? But like on top of the thing about like people being on top of it being difficult, there are like 2 layers I see as like to get people to start actually doing stuff. Like the first layer is, I think the first layer is actually environment. Like if you're just not in a suitable environment, like to do stuff, you just like can't. Like he was in an environment where he'd been kicked out of his own bedroom. He was sleeping in this living room. Like where's he meant to do art there? And then his mom borrowed some money from him, so he didn't even have like funds for like a proper camera or anything. And like you could argue that if he really wants to, you could be super scrappy and do it. But it's like mid-recording, someone comes in, knocks the camera, and like messes up the whole like because he would make like an art montage, right, and like speed up everything, obviously, right, to show the whole process. And like someone messes that up, it's like he just knocks his whole workflow. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And then it's hard to. And then also like for me personally, I need to be in flow to do my work. I need to be in flow and then stay in flow for like a prolonged amount of time. And when I say flow, I mean like the state of like being able to really focus on your work, right? And I noticed that like my girlfriend lives in a house like full of like 6 people, right? And they're all my friends. So sometimes like if I'm doing work, I get kind of like, obviously someone will come in, like not that they're trying to distract me from my work, but they just like walk in while I'm in the living room while I'm just working, and then they disrupt the flow. And that's what I think that environment like matters so much, like almost more than your work ethic. Because let's say you're in an environment where you're like I was in Mauritius, where you're so bored that there's nothing to do, you would definitely rather do work than nothing. Honestly, like I think that's always the case with any human. They'd always rather do work than nothing. And so being in that environment by itself already gives you like one leg up, compared to the people who surround themselves with distractions constantly all the time.
Well, the biggest thing for me to want to start doing something was actually boredom.
Yeah.
What does your artist friend think of your AI art?
He like he was never against it. He was just because he's going to focus on more commission art. So like a commission art is basically irreplaceable, right? AI is not good enough to replace commission art. If let's say you have a piece, right? And they say, oh, I want to change this strand of hair from here to here. I want my name in the bottom right or the bottom left, right? And I want this like small changes, very detailed, like minuscule changes. AI art cannot do that. It's not good enough yet.
But surely it will in the future.
It probably will in the future, yeah. But for now, he's like safe and he can make pretty decent money just off commissions. But I have a. I really hope she doesn't see this. I have a cousin, right? Who she is like starving artist like type stuff like and I know actually I know quite a few people who not starving artists per se, but like people who are like doing art not in a good space who would definitely think that what I'm doing is insanely questionable, insanely morally questionable, and that I'm absolutely taking money from their pockets, but in reality they would never even be seen in the first place. So
I want to ask, because I hadn't met you before this conversation. I want to know a rough summary timeline of how you went from like an idea of, right, I want to make money online, to where you are now, and what you tried and what your process was and what gave you success, if you get what I mean. Just briefly, so I can have a bit of a background.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. So I was 16 and it was lockdown. And I was really like not bored, but I was basically inside playing games like 24/7. And I was working out. I was still fit, but I was just playing games every day, right? So my life was games. My life was games, workout, and then go meet with my friends. But at the time, my dad just started really stressing out about work. My dad's an accountant, right? He'd always been stressed about work, but the stress got really bad during lockdown. Basically, they furloughed like 3/4 of his company. And he's pretty high up in his company, but they just didn't furlough him because he was such an important position. He was essentially working like two accountants' jobs at the same time, right? He was like that crucial to them. And if he got furloughed, I don't think the company wouldn't be able to run. And I remember after he left, they were like going through so many people like looking to hire because basically I think he got a qualification amongst accountants, which just doesn't exist anymore, which covers 2 jobs at once, right? Which means that you pay the salary of one person for 2 jobs, right? And he was being like underpaid pretty badly. On top of that, the stress, he was working like 12-hour days at some point. I could see him at his desk. Like I'd walk past his room and he was in his office, like head in hands, like stressing, right? So that was like the fear that pushed me towards making money online. Because he was speaking about stuff like, my mum isn't very mentally well. So he was also speaking stuff about like saying he could quit the job, right? And get a job to sustain himself pretty easily. But it's the fact that he needs to also look after my mentally unwell mum. And he's concerned. And my dad's always been a guy who looks very far into the future. And he said he's concerned about whether he'll have enough money when they're old, like when he'll be able to stop working, etc., all this stuff. So that pushed me towards making money online. That was the first push. And then I watched an insane amount of YouTube, like an ungodly amount of YouTube to do with like everything online. And I think I came across dropshipping, right? But the consistent thing in all these videos was like, you need like money, you need money to do dropshipping, you need money to do dropshipping, right? And I didn't even like, I basically had zero money. Like I had gambled some CSGO skins and got about £300, spent it all on Steam games. So I basically had no money, right? So I was like, how can I? The real thing that I was thinking about is how can I make money from nothing, like from actually nothing. Like that is like what started everything. I wanted to be able to just make money like a pit, you know, because I would hear people speak about like a lot of like gurus would say like money's in abundance, and like I'm not saying like gurus are correct that money is in abundance, but it is like out there. You can't get it. Like it is an attainable thing, right? But back then my mindset was very much of like I had a very scarce mindset, as in like, oh, if I made a product and this and that or whatever, even if I did all the correct steps, you know, business is just luck, right? It's all just luck. I would never be able to make any money. There's not a chance I would make a pound. And I remember this. I think I looked up a statistic. I think it said like 80% of people who like try to make money online don't, right? Now that could have been a BS statistic, but that was enough in my young mind to be like, oh, like they can't make even a pound online. I'm like terrified or whatever, you know. Anyways, then I went to my dad, who's like the smartest man I know, and I was like to him, oh, like, is making online money online, like, is this real? Is this just a scam? Like, is this actually real? And he's like, you know, Kieran, before you were born, I was going to make money online, but then you were born, so I had no time to make money online, because he was going to basically run his accounting job and a side business, right? He was gonna sell stuff on eBay, right? And he gave me a book, and I think it was like How to Make Your First Million Online, and it was just so you know how like old the book was. It was released during like the .com boom and stuff, right? So we're talking like ages ago, right? But yeah, he gave me that book, and I read like 2 pages and got bored. But I understood the general premise. Went onto YouTube, consumed as much like drop shipping information as I possibly could, and then I just didn't try it because I was like, too much money involved, dodgy suppliers, too much. Like, it was too much for my first step, right? So then I went to a site. Then I heard of print on demand. Print on demand is like an e-commerce business model where you sell first, and you're with not just any like Chinese supplier. Like, these are like people who specialize in print on demand. They specialize in having multiple warehouses across multiple countries. And I was seeing people like claiming drop shipping, right? Like dropshippers don't ever claim print on demand really, but they are print on demand sellers, right? Some of them, quite a lot of them actually. And I saw one case study in particular. There was a duo of guys. They were selling posters, right? Like posters of just maps, right? I was like, who buys posters of maps? Like, what the hell? But they had made 2.5 million off of maps, of selling like maps on prints, and I was like, all right, and I knew that, and I just had a feeling that it was real, just because there was nothing flashy. I always feel that it's more real when there's nothing flashy. They're completely transparent, because he was even transparent. Like, you could go on his channel and you could see like the timeline, and then he even has at the end, I sold my print on demand company for this much, right? And then obviously the two split off and went their own ways. So I was like, wow, this is like really real. I can go all the way back and track this company's progress. Like, this guy's really doing it. And then I went to go ask my dad about like that, and he was like, yeah, there are people who ship off products and they just don't ever see them. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? How does that even work? Like, what do you mean? They ship off products and they never see them. They don't take any inventory, nothing. They're not the ones printing. They don't do anything. And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, go look it up. Go look it up. So I did look it up. And then I went down the huge print on demand rabbit hole. At the time, there was a site called Redbubble. It was getting very popular amongst young people because the general premise is upload PNG and get money, you know? So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go on Redbubble. And for the first, my first shop, Redbubble shop, was uploading the artist Santan Dave. Like, I would take his album art and I would put it onto phone cases. So I was basically taking like music artists, like the artwork from their album covers, putting it on phone cases, putting it on posters, putting it on t-shirts, right? And then I would sell it as like merch, right? But I didn't have like the correct work ethic. I had no clue what I was doing. Obviously, I was young, right? First time in e-commerce ever. And I can barely count Redbubble as e-commerce, because it really is upload PNG, and then they just do everything else. They do customer service. They deal with all the shipping. They deal with everything, right? So you're basically working for Redbubble at that point, right? So and the profit margins were horrendous. But yeah, I think it took me 2 years to get to earning about £50 a month on that platform. And then they've dropped another album. And I remember like literally like 2 or 3 days afterwards, I took the cover art from that album and I put it onto all the merch as usual, right? Just tossed it on there. I was like, sure, why not? And then it started going like crazy. Like 80, it went from 50 to like 80 a month to 90 a month to 100 a month. at the peak of it, it was 300. It was 300 in 1 month, and in total over the whole time span that I had that shop up, because eventually designs got taken down, it made about like 3K, which is like really not bad for like this like a 16, 17-year-old who I literally made that store just so I could have money during my A levels. That was like really good. That was really good money that got me through like some like it got me through like getting a girlfriend and stuff, which obviously your expenses go up and stuff, right? So I was really like happy, and on top of that, I didn't have to work a 9 to 5. Like I didn't have to work in Sainsbury's. Like I had people in secondary in year 12 and 13 who were already working not full 9 to 5 jobs, but they were ridiculous shifts. Like I remember there was a girl who was working like a 4 a.m. shift at the Sainsbury's. I was like, what the heck? Like that's crazy. So I didn't have to slave away for that money, and it had come pretty passively. I was at school. Well, I'd be at school in history class. Teacher would be gone. I'd open my phone, like 3-4 sales. Wow, I was like, it's actually like real. Like this shit's actually like legit. And then from Redbubble, I entered uni, the first year of uni, at the very beginning of uni, first year. I was still on Redbubble, but I had started experimenting with Etsy e-commerce, which is like where I specialize now, right? And I had, because I just wanted to see whether I could replicate my success in e-commerce, like off-site, in a place where the competition is more fierce, where there's more money, more visitors, and it's less guaranteed that you're going to make money. Because on Redbubble, quite a lot of sellers make money, but it's quite small money, right? And I'd say I was in like the top like 10% of sellers on Redbubble. So when I went to Etsy, it's like a bigger pool of fish, you know? It's like going from like primary school to uni, basically. Like, that's how big the skip is, right? So I had to start learning all these things at the same time. But I just want to see, my main thing was see whether I could replicate success. Because if success could be replicated with something that I did not even care about, that means e-commerce is viable. Because it means that even if on the lowest levels you can still make success with something you don't care about, then if you take something that you actually slightly care about, you can and is an even more viable product, and you create a brand around it and everything. That means you'll be able to take it far, like much further, obviously, than the small time that. I just wanted to see whether it wasn't a waste of time or not, whether I actually knew what I was doing. So yeah, I made a store called The Traveler. I saw travel posters. I did it on Redbubble and I did it on Etsy, right? I just got a bunch of designs, uploaded both, like all these designs to like 300 designs, 300 different products to both Etsy and Redbubble. And the Redbubble shop is still going today. It's very small money. It's like 40 or 50 a month, but it's good, you know. Like that's money I just don't even have to think about. And then on Etsy, it wasn't the volume of sales that was like making me like think big. It was because the competition was fierce, but it was like I made like 15, 16 sales in total on that shop. It wasn't very big, but the things that I was selling, I sold basically I sold a backpack, right? So I bought it from the print on demand seller. It was a print on demand backpack. Literally, the warehouse would print the design on the backpack and sell it, right? So I would buy the backpack for 80 from the print on demand seller for £80. I would sell it for 120. But I actually put it on my shop as a joke because I did not think it would sell. I was like, 120 for a backpack is ludicrous. I thought that I was like actually robbing people. Anyways, it was like London. It was like, I don't know why, but so obviously my shop is tourist and travel themed, right? The design I'd taken was literally a PNG of the London Underground map, and I'd slapped it on a backpack. Not even nicely slapped it on. I really crappily slapped it on. And I think I put my logo on like a little branding label, right? It was always the ridiculous thing I ever put up on my store. I thought that if I could sell this, I can sell anything. That was my genuine thought when I put it up. I was like, if I sell this, I sell anything. Anyways, I was in the pub with my friend, and it just sold like that. And then again and again, like the next time we went to the pub, and then I went home and it sold twice again. And so that was like £120 of pure profit for like taking a PNG of the London Underground, putting it on a backpack, and then putting it on Etsy. And someone in their right mind had gone to my store with 12 sales and 0 reviews and put down £120 on a backpack. Yeah. With the London Underground design on it. So I was like, all right, okay, so this is a shop that you actually just don't care about. But clearly I was like, okay, like I clearly have like either like it does not take a lot to sell, or I clearly have like some magic touch, right? Like and the mock-ups that I had were good enough. I was using like default images, man. Like it was nothing. So I was so like baffled by this, right? So that's when and around this time, yeah, beginning of uni, uh I had started experimenting with AI art because always my issue was that I was always scared to scale, because when you scale, you need licenses for images because people will come after you, especially if you start entering the hundreds of thousands of sales, right? If someone sees their image on your product, they will come after you and they'll say like licensing, especially on Etsy. Etsy is super strict. You get banned on Etsy for licensing and they never want to mess with you again because it's like they can get sued for that stuff, right? Understandably. So it was always like commercial licenses were a bit foggy. Everything was a bit foggy, right? But when AI art came around, and and I'm happy because AI art has won like multiple lawsuits, is won multiple cases. It's been held up in the courts and stuff, right? And when I saw AI art, I was there at like the birth of AI art. Like I was there at the beta. I was testing it. I was like, this could be my source of unlimited digital art. You know what I mean? And like I could make a store in any niche, like in any niche, in any sort of like my imagination like had basically just exploded, right? With the amount of possibilities that I could do with pairing print on demand with AI, because it was basically pairing, like, especially when you take a product like wall art, right? Wall art can be sold in 5 different genres, like 10, 20, 30, right? And you can like split it. You could have like a religious wall art store. You could have like a more like dark emo type of like wall art store, right? And my imagination just started exploding. So I was like, yeah, if I could pull from this unlimited source of art, I wouldn't have to pay an artist. And on top of that, I own all the commercial licenses. So it would be like literally perfect. And on top of that, it's on top of that, the quality was indistinguishable from actual artists. It can make art faster than actual artists, and it can make art more detailed and better than actual artists could, right? I was looking at the artists on Etsy, the competition, right? And as AR got better, I started looking at the competition on Etsy because there's a bunch of like 40-year-old white moms on Etsy, right? Etsy's not really like a young person platform. It's only started becoming like a young person platform just because of all the YouTubers, right? But in reality, 90% of the sellers are still way over 30, right? And I was looking at their ancient stores, which are like fossils. And like their images were crap. Their art was dog. And I was like, man, I could just do this but way better. And they would have like 1,000 listings where they had stolen the JPEGs from random sites. I was like, I knew that if they scaled, they would die because I knew that they would get copyrighted. But I knew if I scaled, like basically like everything lined up, the stars aligned. Because so with AI art, I could produce art faster, higher quality. I had gotten a script from one of my friends to place the images on mockups, which means that I could get the listings, I could pump the listings out faster. My shop could just be better in every single metric. The only metric where it wouldn't be better was that they were there for 10 years and I would only be here for 1. But I thought that even though I'm not the most experienced in scaling or anything like this, I just thought that like, even because I've got so many things going in my favor, like a failure would be me like, oh, boohoo, I make like an extra 200, 300 a month. Like, you know, that would be considered like quote unquote, like the worst that could happen, right? So I was like, yeah, I'll just go for it. And yeah, the rest is history. I just kept going. Like, I basically never stopped. And AI art basically improved. As AI art evolved, my store also evolved. The art just got better. The art produced faster. As I made more profit, I could then pay people to create me scripts, so I could then push their listings out faster. I could pay people for tools, which would allow me to analyze Etsy better. And I just reinvested all the profit. All the profit just got pushed straight back into the store, And yeah, and I'm out where I am now. Yeah.
Wow, that was nice. That was a good story. Like for everything you were explaining there, I was visualizing it in my mind, and yeah, quality on. And the main question I got from that though was, right, what kept you going where you said you had to do it for 2 years to make £50 a month? Why would you keep going? Because to most normal people, you say, I've done this thing for 2 years and I've made this much. They'll go, well, you're wasting your time. What kept you going?
It was honestly like, I can't say so much, but I do remember that there was like a 6-month break between those 2 years where I was like, okay, it's not working. But it's really funny how print on demand works. The nature of my business is so passive, right? That you can, like, people say stuff like, oh, you want to get to a point where you make money while you sleep. But with print on demand, it is literally like you can make money while you sleep. Like You really can. And I remember my first sale ever came from when I was asleep. I woke up with £8 in my bank account during that 6-month break, like at the end of the 6-month break. And that's obviously when the 6-month break ended, because that was my first sale ever. And I don't know why. It was the tiniest, even like the tiniest little like bit of hope, just like sold me on. Oh, in my mind, if I made one sale, I can make 100 sales. And in my mind, even now, if I can make 100, I can make another 1,000. It's just a thing of doing what I did good and doing it again and again and again and again. And like, yeah, there will be failures and stuff, but those failures just end up becoming lessons. Now you just know what not to do. And you just, and now you have an even clearer vision. It's like the whole time it's like, I don't know. I saw every sale as like carving out, like, let's say you got a block of concrete, it's like carving out a structure, right? And it's like every sale I get closer to the final sculpture that I want, right? And every time I make a sale, it's like I hit the hammer on the sculpture again, and I get a bit closer to like the masterpiece that I have in my head, right? And yeah, obviously the sales come, and then when you're making money, it's really easy. Like your motivation is the money. You see the money coming, and like especially in e-commerce, where you know that the work you do now, you'll feel that work 2 months later, right? Or 1 month later, you'll feel that work like coming. So then I just started thinking like, yeah, I mean, if I get one sale now, I'll just do this again and again and again, and I'll just do this one thing 1,000,000 more times, and then, you know, I'll get somewhere. I don't know where I'll get, but can't be worse where I am now. Like, because yeah, that's the nature of my business, is that you basically trade time for money. Like you're essentially like trading in your time, and then trading in your time, but not just like for money, like for seeds, which can grow exponentially, right? Which every single seed you plant, every listing, every product you put up has a chance to grow the shop exponentially. And so I just wanted to give myself as many chances to grow as possible. Basically, it was like giving myself the best shot possible. And what kept me going was just the thought of like, it was essentially the thought of like just being able to like just walk and just exist, but having like not, it's not really intrinsic value because the shop is external to you, but it's like the way I thought about it is that I'll walk around and just have a baseline that I'm on, you know, like intrinsic value just by existing. Even if something happened to me, my leg got broken or something, or like something really bad happened to me, like I don't know, like for some reason I lost my ability to think somewhat, right? The money would always be there for me, no matter what. It was like by doing that, I was setting myself a baseline for my life as a whole. But yeah, that just kept me going, and then and yeah, obviously. When the compounding effect started, I just, you don't need motivation at that point. At that point, you just see the numbers coming in, and then yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah, then it's a game, I guess.
Yeah, close to a game. Yeah,
I can sort of like relate when you do get your first sale, or you do get a sale. You think, okay, if someone has bought my product, then why not someone else? And it's just that proof. It's that proof of what you're doing. That you can get more.
I think that's motivated me with the kind of course that I'm making now, because the thought patterns that hold me back are, is it good enough for someone to buy it, or can I make this bit better and this bit better before I produce it? But from what you just said there, what my brain is saying is, if I get it out there and see how it does, then I can work with the results, rather than not doing it. Like, it's better to execute, mess up and improve, or execute and just figure out and see what happens. It's better than constantly questioning what if and not doing it. So yeah, that was valuable. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. But honestly, yeah, like getting it out there is like by far the most important thing, because even with YouTube, you know, you don't get your feedback on the video. You know whether it's good or not until you press the upload button, get comments, get views, see how the algorithm feels about it, you know? Like, that's the feedback loop there. And yeah, you know, you'll never get any feedback if it's just not out, you know? Until then, it's basically an unknown. And you can like definitely try and like make it as close to perfection in your mind as you think it would be, but at the end of the day, like, there'll always be some unexpected like thing that like my customers, like, they surprise me every day with what they buy on my store. Like, they'll buy the most random products from like that I put up like 6 months ago, and I'm like, what the heck, you know? Like,
Tell Joel what some of the funny orders that you got with like the album covering.
Oh yeah, I got a So someone bought an album cover for like £200, like a digital album cover. Like it was literally just like a PNG file. They just wanted me to do an AI like album cover. Like not an AI one, but they just wanted me to. They said they didn't care how I did it. They just wanted like the album cover and the style of some of the art on my store. And I basically sold a 1,000 by 1,000 like PNG for like £200.
Wow.
And yeah, my whole business is basically like, but it comes back to that concept that I thought about when I was 16. It was like I want to be able to make money from nothing, you know. I just want to make it appear, right? In my opinion, right, I've basically made it appear because like I don't touch any of these moving cogs. Like I don't really touch any of the wall art. I don't I don't make any of the art per se. I have an AI make it, but like I've never really like made it like that. And I just find it so incredible that like using like pairing AI with like e-commerce, I've basically just made it just feels like I made money appear out of thin air. Like yes, I'm providing value to the market. I understand like the money doesn't appear out of thin air, but like you know what I mean? It feels good like to just be able to like will it into existence almost. It feels like incredible. Yeah.
So AI art has got quite a lot of growth left to it because do you think it's taking more and more creative jobs?
Yes. Without a doubt, yeah. Concept artists were the first people to go, like concept artists for movies and games and stuff. Because concept art is really generic, right? It's really generic. So AI art like did that immediately. That was like first. And then people who were like, there's a lot of like, and there's AI art being used on like YouTube and stuff as well. Like as like some of the faceless channels which like speak about like.
Do you reckon AI's doing thumbnails?
I've seen it doing thumbnails. I've like not the whole thumbnail, as in like the wording, etc. But I see the AR being a contributor to like the background image and all that stuff, and like the background image in videos and stuff, and especially on Instagram. On Instagram, sometimes like my girlfriend will be scrolling Instagram and it'll be like, oh, what bedroom do you prefer? 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? Those were all AI generated like images or whatever, or like I'll see like some stuff about like funny like Harry Potter characters like lifting in the gym and stuff, right? And it's like AI could just like do that, and not that that's replacing jobs, but like maybe in another life, a digital artist would have been hired to make that idea come to reality instead. And now you can just low barrier to entry, like £26 a month, just pay the AI and it'll just do it.
Yeah, I see it with like podcast clips on TikTok. It's like people just enter the clip and then it just edits it for you, and I can tell just by using the same font and the same cutting and but I think it could plateau, not for a bit, but I think eventually people care that humans have made something, and I feel like there's a point where it won't get any better and it'll sort of plateau. But it's also interesting because people thought that AI would firstly take over like the boring jobs, and then it'd do like coding jobs, and then eventually it'd be the creative jobs right at the top, right at the end. However, it seems like it's been the exact opposite.
But is it the case that the reason that human-made creative things are valuable is because they reflect something about that human's experience that you relate to. You see a part of yourself in it. When you listen to a song that expresses a certain emotion, it's kind of like that human being's soul is touching your soul. You know, that's the value that you get from it. So I feel like as advanced as AI might get in all the creative domains, there will always be a market for human-made stuff. But yeah, the AI stuff will have its place, but people will always want something made by a human. And like the clear example of that is on Spotify, there are guests that everybody has wanted to go on Rogan, and there are AI episodes of taking from thousands and thousands of hours of Rogan speaking, him with Andrew Tate, him with Dwayne Johnson, right? If all people wanted was an AI bit of creativity creating that conversation, then why wouldn't those episodes have millions and millions of downloads? Because if they actually happened with the real people, they would, and that shows that there's a difference.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like it's also like how I think AI has a real issue, especially a creative AI has a real issue with what you were saying, like how like when you listen to music and a soul touches like this, like you really feel what they're saying, it really resonates with you. It's like there's an issue with specificity, like being able because it just takes huge data sets from creative human endeavor and just mashes them together. It doesn't really understand like nuances and like certain meanings when it comes to music and like I said before with my friend's commission work, right? Like it's like let's say like a flower in their hair was meant to symbolize like a person or something, right? It's like the AI wouldn't be able to like understand that, you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't really get that. But I think especially for like video, I think for video and like movies and music, I feel like AI will be like advanced enough to be able to surface level, like it probably recreate like Gucci Gang or something, like some really like crap music, whereas like like super surface level stuff, but it would never be able to recreate like, for example, on YouTube, some of like the most insightful documentaries into like the most random topics on there. Like there's no way it could recreate those, I don't think, ever, because it just doesn't have, because it doesn't have actual insight. The way it replicates the creative endeavors is by just mashing stuff together pretty clumsily. Obviously, it's getting better at it, right? As you can see with art, it's getting much better with it. But when it comes to like videos and music, it's like it's very clumsy with how it puts everything together. It has there's no meaning behind it because the AI obviously isn't sentient. That's something that only humans are.
Yeah, like in music, like you won't be able to hear the meaning. It would just be a generated thing of what worked. Like they've done like an AI song with Drake and The Weeknd, and they did. I think they've done a couple with Drake actually, and it was quite good, and it's only going to get better. But it might appear in the charts. It might appear in a different section of charts. It might have a different section for AI songs, but it won't. You won't be able to get a full Kendrick Lamar album.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It could replicate it as hard as it could try to replicate it as hard as it wants to, but it would never like. And even then, it would because it's from previous data sets, it never understands what the person's thinking at this exact moment, obviously, right? Because you can't go inside a person's mind like that. So it would just take what they said in the past and just repeat it, basically, just regurgitate whatever they said. Yeah.
So why, as humans, do you think we value so much of what other humans have done rather than another species or AI?
It's getting across the fact that someone else has had a similar experience. That's why human beings form social connections. If you look at it fundamentally, it's like we're having a shared experience here, and me knowing that you guys are also having a similar experience to me helps me understand my experience. When you see someone's art and it expresses a deep emotion, especially a deeply painful one, you're like, oh God, I'm not alone. Like you listen to a song that expresses something and it hits you deep to the core because you know has been someone else and is someone else. When there'll be millions of people at the exact same time feeling a similar way to you, and that does something that you can't replicate through AI. You can't. It can't touch you on a soul level. You can hear something, oh, that sounds nice, or that sounds like Drake and The Weeknd. But if you really like those two guys, you want something from them, from their soul, not just like data that's been mashed together from their previous work.
No, yeah, definitely. Like even I was today, because I don't think it'll ever happen where you get overrun by AI videos, because there's a certain style of video, like the person just talking to a camera type of video, right? And I think I was today, it just came up on autoplay. It was like I think it was like loneliness as like an entrepreneur or someone who's just trying to like make money for themselves, right? And some of the stuff he was saying, it's like he could like pull stuff out of my brain. It was actually crazy. Like it was like how could someone who in a completely different like space than me or different environment be resonating like with whatever's in my head, like saying the words that I'm thinking in my head out loud, but he's completely different. He's just another external person. And
that makes you feel great, doesn't it? Like when
it does, yeah.
But and there's something, there's something significant about that. I think that's why, if any of the majority of the positive comments I get on my videos are people saying, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, thank you. You helped me understand what I've been experiencing. And I see it myself when I watch a video of someone going through a similar experience or says something I understand. It's kind of like you're reminded that you're not alone. You know, on a lot of levels.
Yeah. The loneliness thing I really like. Like, that video was like crazy though. When I say that, I was actually pulling stuff out of my head. It was insane. When YouTube videos pull stuff out of my head, in general, I think it's like the craziest stuff ever. Because most of the time, YouTube is like, I'm just sifting through like the 80% of like stuff, which is just like watch fodder, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah. But there's that
time.
Yeah, there's that 20% which is like absolute gems of videos, man.
And that's what people want, isn't it? They want something real. Like, I think there's two types of content that does well. One is like your Mr. Beast style, let's hack your attention, show you something amazing, give you a massive dump of dopamine. But then there's also like, you want a human being. Like, if you wanted something high production and engaging, go and watch TV. You know, so that's what TV gives.
Yeah.
Gives you that fake, superficial dopamine hit. Whereas if you want a real human being talking to another real human being, that's the main thing that YouTube has. That's why it's done so well, I think.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
YouTube's kind of taken over TV. Do you think?
It is. It's a TV that gives every person an opportunity to make their own show.
Yeah, that's really one way of putting it. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, if your show is shit, no one would want to watch it. Just like if it's on TV. But if your show is good, you can make better stuff than TV. Like, some of the best YouTube videos are better than TV. And the budget's so much smaller. It's amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think with the future of AI? How can the artwork keep getting better? Because surely it will plateau at some point. Do you think?
I think it can get better by. It's more about the intent behind the AI artist who's wielding the AI. It's how easily could the AI, how good is the AI at interpreting what they're saying, or whatever they type in, right? And spitting something out that is in the mind's eye of the AI artist, like exactly what they want, right? For example, like, since the rise of ChatGPT, you've had people called prompt engineers, right? These guys are like literally people who like spend immense amount of time speaking to ChatGPT and learning how to engineer it and backwire it to get what they want out of it, right? It's the same thing for AI art, you know. Not like, you cannot come out with something that looks authentically human made by the AI unless you tell it to add the human touch. For example, in a lot of my AI pieces, I say with paintbrush strokes, with imperfections, with details, etc., right? Paint with this type of painting on this material, right? So that when the print comes out, it really looks like a fucking art piece, so that it has almost that human element to it, because no one wants like a perfect piece of art, if you know what I mean. Like, nobody actually wants a perfect piece of art to hang up on the wall. They want something that looks like it's had time and attention taken to it, and they want it to look authentic. They want to almost be able to like see like the story behind the piece by just looking at even the most minuscule paintbrush strokes. So, like, they want to see the detail in it, you know? Yeah. So I think that, and I think it can get better in terms of like assets for people outside of just AI artists or like people looking to sell art pieces. I think, for example, it could improve for YouTubers, where if a YouTuber asks for like a thumbnail with like this person pointing here and like and they want like a big like attention grabbing like image in the thumbnail or whatever, like, because currently it cannot make thumbnails by itself. It cannot. It can't. It needs editing software. It can't. It can barely produce words properly. Because AI art is more for actual art pieces, not geared towards thumbnails, not geared towards like assets. I think Adobe Firefly is the closest we have to something that is attempting to generate assets like stickers and stuff, but it's just like logos for businesses and like even whole like branding schemes and stuff, but it's just not right now. It's just not there yet. It's not there to be able to make thumbnails at all. Like it has to it would still have to be combined. It'd be just like taking a normal background image for your thumbnail and then just editing it to like give it all the crossing the T's and dotting the I's of like what makes it an attention grabbing thumbnail. It'd be exactly the same as what you do with AI art. It's just that the extra step of like generating it, and I guess that's easier than taking a picture. But apart from that, yeah, so that it gives like that area.
A future could be though where we can't tell whether something was generated by humans or AI.
I mean, I think we're already like kind of there. Like with AI, with art pieces, we're there. People have literally asked me like, who made that piece of art, right? I'm just like, studio digitally made it, and like it's like they genuinely can't tell. Like I'll even say like later on, like I'll send you guys some pieces. It just cannot tell. It's impossible for them to tell. It has paintbrush strokes. It has like if I wanted to, it could even have a signature in the bottom right. It has everything, and it can just replicate it so much faster than artists, especially in particular landscape art. The nice huge pieces of art you see of like mountain ranges and stuff. Yeah, those guys are fucked. So for those guys, like unless someone wants to be able to now on Etsy actually is the rise of textured art, which is where people can like run their hands over the canvas and feel the paint, right? To have that even extra level of authenticity, right? But most of the regular people in this world do not have the money to blast 500 on a landscape artist piece where they can feel the texture running over it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, the poor landscape artists who are selling the stuff on prints, I mean, it's just over for them. Like there's zero competition, and it's even worse that like AR art now has a component where you can literally like I could take a picture on my phone, right? I could look at an art piece, right, that I want to replicate. I could take the picture, I could upload the picture to the AI, and I could tell it, yeah, I want you to take inspiration from this piece, but just do it better. I want more mountains. I want it to be sunnier. I want the contrast to be better, and I want it to be in a different resolution. It'll just do it right there, and it'll take direct inspiration from that piece, and it's just over for that guy. Like it's just finished.
Wow. I want to ask, what is, or do you have any longer term plan for this? Like, is it just scale and continue to make more each month, more each year, or is there a point where you feel like you'll be satisfied and then you'll sell it, or is there a point where you'll be satisfied and you'll just keep it where it is and focus on other parts of your lifestyle? Like, I can't imagine that you still want to be generating AI art at 30. Like, have you thought about that kind of thing? I'm just interested in the thought process.
Well, actually, like, okay, so my passion seems to be in automation. The way it's going, it seems to be to do automation. Like even with this shop, most Etsy sellers do their mock-ups by hand, right? Or they do them in. Normally they do bulk mock-ups. Okay, so there are programs online that do bulk mock-ups, right? The images for the products and stuff, right? But they're really poor. They're really poor like quality images. If you look at my shop, like I've had a few customers tell me that it just looks expensive, right? It just looks good, right? And it's because I ordered a script off of someone to automate that part. I have a pretty like I've always like enjoyed the automation part of it. Like it's so satisfying to watch me take 100 pieces of AI generated art, run it through a script so that all the mock-ups get done, and I literally just press buttons in order to upload it. Like it's like the most satisfying thing ever. I want to scale this shop. I want to add like more products. First of all, I think I can probably. Oh yeah, go on.
Before you were getting the mock-ups, what was it that you had to do?
I had to go on Photoshop, double tap a layer, drag the image over, put it on there, press the save button, and do that 8 times, while my computer lift off like an aeroplane because Photoshop is like so badly optimized. But yeah, I would have to do all the work. So imagine right now I'm doing 36 listings, 36 new products a week, right? Like I think my max before was like 10, because then you have to produce. Imagine 10, you have to produce 80 mock-ups. You have to do that like again and again and again. On top of that, I'm trying to spend time with my girlfriend. On top of that, I'm trying to go uni. On top of that, I do boxing as well. So it's like But now it's insane. The other week, I think I took 95 images. I just tossed them in the file. I pressed like one button, it generated it generated like 900 like mockups. Like while I was literally out collecting my girlfriend from the station when that happened. I literally pressed the button while I was on the bus and it was just going. And I got home, everything was done for me. Well, I had to do minimal work. But yeah, like I'm gonna keep scaling this, right? But I just want to find ways to make the process faster, because faster, and without compromising quality, the most important part, faster without compromising quality. Because if I can do both of those things, then I will just be better than every other business on Etsy, like by far. Like, but for the longest term vision I have was, I told Jacob when we met that I also like want to work in like some, I want to make like a side goal I have is like running like making like AI bots. Like when you go on websites in the bottom right, sometimes they have like AI chat bots that you can speak to. It's like taking huge data sets like from their FAQs and stuff, putting it into a bot, and then having like an always active customer service agent that obviously you don't pay because it's a bot that you can always speak to, right? That's one thing. But the other, but like since thinking about it, I was speaking to my girlfriend as well. She was like, "You're really good at e-commerce. You should probably double down on it," and she's probably correct. I was thinking that maybe I could expand from this one AI art agency into like 5 different other ones, and like just cover different niches.
That bot, that's like a customer service thing. Is when you go onto websites, you can chat with them.
Yeah,
that's quite complicated, I reckon.
Yeah, but it probably is very complicated. But like, I just have I don't know. I have a passion for seeing things get automated and work seamlessly. But I think that my main concern is like automating as much of this shop as I possibly can, and then spreading that out, like making like a row of shops all able to be automated with minimal hiring needed, and like basically all the fat cut off of the e-commerce model basically.
And you want to sort of share what you've learned and create some sort of course or about Etsy as well?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the course is something I've been asked by like multiple friends, like 3 or 4. I got asked by my cousin the other day, who does bigger numbers than I do, if I could just make a course about Etsy and like whatever I know, because they said it seems like I've streamlined it. I mean, not many people do like 400 or 500 sales in their first year. It's like a complete anomaly and rarity to do anywhere close to that in your first year. Normally, most sellers you see on the platform, you'll see they have 8K sales. You go down, oh my god, they're a fossil. They've been on there since 2010. Jesus Christ, you know, like they were on there before I even knew internet was a thing. I was playing with Thomas the Tank Engines, man. But like, it's like, you know, like I think that course, I don't aim the course at young people because like I said, most of the sellers on Etsy are fossils. And I would, at some point, I would like to sell on the other e-commerce platforms, Amazon, eBay, right? It's just that our work seems to do the best on Etsy, so I sell on Etsy. I match the good traffic with the customers who like with the shop where the customers are willing to buy our work, basically.
You know, the people that are like the competitors that are like have a bit bigger shops than you.
Yeah,
you reckon those people are just automating like mad?
There are. I don't think all of them are automating like mad. Definitely not. I think some of them just have crazy work ethics, because I know there's some stuff that's impossible to automate, like mockups of multiple images. You just can't automate those. But like if you want to place multiple pieces on one image, you just can't automate that. There's no way of doing it. But I have seen like shops which have started around the same time as me. They sell at a lower price, so they're making less money, and I can tell their profit margins are much thinner than mine. But they've been doing like higher volume of sales, and like I'm in a generation of like AI art shops. Like I can tell there are like quite a few other ones. I've been keeping my eye on the competition, and not many of them are doing better than me. I think I've only seen like 1 or 2 who are doing better than me, but some of them, like the reason why I said I want to expand into many different shops is because it seems like niche shops do the best, and mine is like a more general art shop right now. Yes, it's got sections which split it off, but it's more of a general art shop right now. And I want to split it off into multiple niches with different stores like dedicated to those niches. And then I want to automate the social media for all of these shops as well on top of that. So
wow.
Yeah, I just want to automate the whole process. I just want to make everything like so seamless and so clean. So I have like as much time as possible in my day to do like whatever I want.
Tell Joe about that one bad review you got.
Oh my god. There was this woman, she left a 2-star review, right? It was like a grandma, probably in like her 70s. She came on my shop, and she just she said that something about her husband being ill, and like just saying that like, oh, she basically left a 2-star review because her package didn't arrive or something, or it arrived damaged, and she basically just left it there because she didn't know where the message button was on the website. Because most customers, after before they leave a review, they contact me and they're like, "Oh yeah, can you correct this?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure," because my shop is like literally known for its customer service. I got a 4.9 rating on my shop. Any problems that
5-star.
yeah, I could have 5 stars if that lady didn't leave a 2-star review. And the other day, actually yesterday, there was another customer who left 1-star review, and her comment is, let me find it like right now. Her comment, a 1-star review. Her comment is, let me find this. I love this ghost scene. It's my favorite part of all my Halloween decor, and it will be the first thing I put up next October. So I'm like, what the heck? She loves it. Why did she put a 1-star? So I go into the messages, and I ask her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, the screen just glitched or whatever." I was like, "Oh, fair enough. Can you edit the review?" And she, no, I didn't say, "Can you edit the review?" I was like, "Hey, you can edit the review if you want," because obviously it affects the shop, isn't it? But she was like, "Oh, if I could find the edit button, I would, but I can't seem to figure out how to navigate the website. It's so poorly constructed." I was like, okay, well, I just gave up. Like, there's a probably an issue with work. The good thing about your customers being older is that they've got more money. The bad part is that they're dumb. Like they are just dumb when it comes to like navigating websites and technology. Yeah, they're just so like brain dead when it comes to that. Yeah.
Well, I love your energy, man. I really do. It's made me think about some things and stuff that I want to focus on more and implement. So yeah, and I like your journey.
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking, what was your journey to like YouTube and stuff?
Oh, so I quite similar to yours, really. Lockdown, I kind of realized that I wasn't happy with the way I was living my life. Wasn't really happy with the person I was and the things that I did on a regular basis. And I kind of cut myself off from my previous friend group, stopped doing the things I was doing, and then was kind of put on this path of trying to figure out who do I want to be, and started working really hard. Just built this work ethic from somewhere, and my main focus was like school stuff at that point. So I like smashed my GCSEs out of the park, and then after GCSEs I was like, I want something else, I want something more. And then I was like, well, why don't I try this YouTube thing? And then in January 2022, I started making videos, and I said to myself, I'm going to do this for 10 years and see what happens. And I'm a year and 9 months into it now. I'd say for the first 6 months, my videos were awful. Then I started to sort of learn how to make things better. Videos were still awful. And they're getting better and better as time goes by, as I put more time into the thumbnails and the storytelling and things like that. And I've got an editor on my team now. I'll make, he takes the edits off my hands, so I have more time to think about the script and those kind of things. Yeah. And it's just 10 years, see what happens.
Yeah, that's just your goal, to just go 10 years.
Yeah, I'd like to be monetized by monetized as in not just YouTube monetization, but if I have my course out, just to be making a little bit of money from my course by the end of this academic year, by next summer. That's kind of like my short-term goal. But the long-term goal is I want to be writing books and articles and things like that. I don't really want to be making YouTube videos for decades. But but it's like I said at the beginning of the conversation, I like it because it's the hardest thing in my life. And I know the day when I do get a video that gets 50k views and then 100k and then 500k, that'll be probably the biggest load of satisfaction, more than any school exam could give me,
Yeah, it would probably pay more as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you looking to branch off of YouTube eventually, because you said you don't want to make YouTube videos forever, like branch off of YouTube and then make like using your own personal brand, right?
Yeah, so it'll be like once I have income sources where I don't need to make YouTube videos, I'll make them less, and I'll just make videos I want to make. I probably just do like vlogs of my life and stuff like that. But the idea is that I enjoy writing more than I don't really enjoy filming videos. It's just something I have to do, like filming B-roll clips and stuff. It's just like something you have to do. But really, I want to write and speak And the best springboard for that, to get someone to be identified with your message, is to just do it for years, and also show the results from doing what I talk about, have an undeniable stack of proof that I am who I say I am. And that's what my YouTube channel is.
Yeah. Transparency will sell courses. Trust me, transparency will sell it, especially in a day and age where it's full of Instagram gurus. Yeah.
My whole course is about taking. I was thinking about it earlier when you were talking about the course that gave you so much value. Is I think what a good course does is the person who makes it has consumed and learned hundreds of hours of stuff, and they have simplified it down to some succinct lessons that if someone learns those lessons, they have got the bulk of the value, and they haven't had to put in those hundreds of hours learning what they need to learn. So my course is what was the stuff I learned through hundreds of hours of listening to podcasts, through learning stuff around psychology, through reading books about mental health and psychology. What are the main principles that actually put my life in a better position? And here they are. Here, it'll take you 4 hours to work on this stuff, and by the end of it, you'll get the value that I got from hundreds. That's the way I'm kind of weighing up how I'm.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Alex Hormozy thing, isn't it? Where he did on one of his lives, he mathematically put down how much his book is worth by sort of consuming all the money he's earned and all the lessons he's earned, but he stacked up as a mathematical equation, and it was thousands of value in this one book.
Yeah, and that's it. When I think about that, as in I have basically dedicated all of my free time and a bit of my education into learning about how to organize and design our minds to feel better and perform better. How can I simplify that so someone who's willing to invest in themselves can listen to the lessons and fill out the worksheets and learn the information to then actually see some tangible improvement in their life? Because once they've done that, then they'll tell someone else about the course, or leave a good review, or they'll watch videos, and then it just goes from there, realistically. And from hearing you, the main thing I've got is I just need to get out. I just need to set a deadline of right, in the next 6 weeks, it's going to be out. And then if it goes shit and no one buys it, then what I might do is turn it into a lead magnet then, and just put it out for free.
Yeah.
For their email, build more of an email list. There is better thing. The good shit will happen no matter what, as long as I do this one thing, which is get it out there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I really like when you you just turn it into a lead magnet if you didn't sell anything like that. That's an amazing mentality to have. Yeah, definitely.
And it could be a lead magnet for the next course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The bigger course, when I'm done with uni and don't have to go to these shite obligations, I can put hundreds of hours into something better. So
yeah. How do you guys feel about uni in general? Like
I won't be here next year.
Oh, you're gone.
Yeah. I'm lucky that I'm in a position where I could go and play sport professionally. I won't get paid that much, but it'll pay the bills. Rather than be here. So I'm going to do year one because it's better than living at home. And I'll get some cool experiences this year and meet some people and stuff. But next year I'm gonna go and play sport, and then I'll have more time to work on the channel.
Yeah.
I like uni. I just don't like my course that much. Although today was pretty good, but it's the first good day in a while for my course. It's just I don't get the value that I'm paying for, and they've sort of took a lot of the interesting stuff and the stuff that inspired me out of business. So
yeah,
if I dropped out, it would be nice. It's just the alternative isn't there right now.
Did you you take business management or something?
I take business entrepreneurship. It's yeah.
What is that like? How do they teach that at uni? How do they teach business entrepreneurship?
Well, I've barely learned anything about entrepreneurship. It's basically, but I think the first year, basically all the business courses are the same. It's only the second sort of branches out and specializes.
Yeah,
that's what I mean about they've taken the interesting sort of entrepreneurship stuff out of business, which I don't really like. And for Joel, he the sort of abstract sort of Jordan Peterson stuff about your mind, they've taken out of psychology.
Well, what I thought, or the thing is, I listen to psychology lectures and philosophy lectures when I go to sleep at night, and I had this vision that I was going to go to uni and it would be of that level. And I didn't realize that what I was listening to wasn't undergraduate. It was like postgraduate stuff.
Yeah.
And the psychoanalysis, like phenomenology side of psychology, which is what I find most interesting, we just don't look at. Like this year is like more basic than A level.
Yeah, no, I feel like I do politics. I feel like that. It's like same, just super basic.
And the fact that I'm paying for it makes it painful. Like if it was free and I was living here, I'd be like, oh, I'm having a good time. But it's also like at the end of this year, I'm going to be 20 grand that I need to pay back the government. So that's why I'm like, there's no point in me being here. I may as well go and play sport, put more time into the channel. The only thing that keeps me at uni is the idea that having a psychology degree will give more merit to what I say in my videos.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because then you'll be able to attract people from like the other side of like because I feel like people who I would say they have like a more online like type of presence or whatever, like will be down to buy your course. But I think having the degree would allow people like it would make you more like attractive to people who aren't in the online space and stuff. They'll be, oh, well, this guy's got a degree, whatever. Because like, I know what people think, right?
Yeah. But that's a sacrifice that I think I'm willing to take because I've realized what's more valuable is if I actually do the things I talk about in my life and show the results.
Yeah.
Like that's and just have a sick life alongside making videos about it is more of an example than how many lectures have I sat in listening to some bloke waffle and have I written a dissertation. Like realistically, people aren't interested in whether I've written a dissertation or not.
Yeah.
It's just like this virtue signaling thing. The reality is everyone has a degree like nowadays, and it's just, to me, if it was free, I'd still do it. But it's the sacrifice of money and time still in the field.
I like the way that you phrased it. I think you worked out mathematically as £20 an hour, right?
Yeah, so every time I go into the lecture hall, I'm giving a guy 40 quid to tell me something I already know.
Right. That is painful. That's really one way of that is long. That's what that is. that is terrible.
How was your politics degree?
First year was like super basic. I like I said, I didn't go to any lectures in the second semester, so I'm basically paying for nothing. Yeah, I went to 0 lectures, and I passed. Yeah, I passed for mostly first year.
That's what I'm thinking as well. Like, it'd be good advice to get from you because I like study psychology outside of my degree, and I've looked at the exam, like practice exams. I'm like, this shit, I could probably do this now. A lot of it. It's like if I just show up to the lectures and put my assignments in, I can get through this year, and then I can put more time into actually shit I care about. Like,
yeah. I just so first year, if you really want to know what I did, I just I would just the first semester I went to a few lectures, but then I know it's a complete waste of time. So second, I was just thinking about my shop and stuff, working on my shop, spending time with my girlfriend. I went on holiday like 3 times in like the second semester, and then I would literally just turn up, and then as soon as the end of year assignments were ready, I just did them immediately, had them in, didn't have to do with uni. I was finished 3 months ahead of everyone else.
Wow, that gives me faith of my 25% attendance right now.
Oh yeah, don't listen to that crap, man. It doesn't matter. I literally, like, I'm not joking. I just went. I didn't even go into handing the assignments. I put them in on Turnitin. Like I just uploaded them. I was like, well, uni's done for this year, and I was off to Mauritius. I was gone. Like uni had not ended yet.
You're the type of guy to get like an essay written by AI.
No. Actually, I actually know someone who got not from this uni, but they got sacked by their uni. Like they got kicked out of uni because they wrote the essay by AI. That was great. Yeah, Turnitin caught them, and then they went to their uni jury, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we have to say for yourself," and he was like, he had 0 evidence. They slapped him with like so much evidence. They were like, apparently like Turnitin has formulas inside it, which can like formulas for like the words in which ChatGPT can generate, and they can tell whether or not it's AI generated or not.
Ooh. Damn.
Yeah. They've been pretty hardcore with it. I mean, I've not heard any cases at this uni, but that was in I think I was in Knots. But yeah.
Right. Unless you've got anything else to say, Joe, I think we'll wrap up here because you've done quite a long time.
Yeah, I think that was good. I enjoyed that. Thank you, Kieran, for coming on and having this conversation with us. Appreciate it.
Where should people find your stuff, Kieran? Like your website, and what should they search if they're interested?
Well, I keep my stuff mostly faceless, so it's fine. People don't need to find me. I'm like a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. Like when I go back to London and I speak to like people from my school days, just like they're like, oh yeah, Kieran, you're like a ghost. Like you don't really like. I don't really post on any socials. And my presence is like nowhere. Actually, I was gonna say Joel, it's pretty like brave of you to attach your face to the social media brand. My stuff is all everything. Most of my endeavors are completely. In fact, I think all of my endeavors pretty much have been completely detached from who I am. Like I'm just to them. I think like my customers literally like don't know me. They like I'm the one running the customer service, which is how I form a personal connection with some of them. But they just know me as like the name of my shop. They don't know me as anything else.
That's interesting. I think that's brave. Yeah, I don't know. I guess like that first night when you post your first video, you get a bit scared, but now I've just got a thick skin to it now. You know.
Do people like the people like in your real life? Do they like look at you funny like after looking at your videos or like no?
No, because the people that don't care don't watch. The people that do care. And that's the reality. Like they might watch, like someone might watch one and be like, "What you on about?" And I'm like, "You don't worry about it. It's not for you." I don't go around telling people that I make YouTube videos because it's kind of the same thing as you. Where it's just like telling my mate to go and watch my video doesn't help the video's performance. The performance is a good title and thumbnail and high retention. So, yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, all my stuff is like completely detached.
Cool. Well, thanks, man.
If people want to find out, they should just if they want to find out badly enough, they'll probably message me.
Yeah. If they want to find out, they'll message you, and then you just reach out to me, and you know how to reach me. So it's fine.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah.